Hello and welcome to Harpsen. My name is Danielle and I am a wedding planner, and we decided to create Harpsen to be able to manage our weddings and events all in one place. So let's get started and I will show you around. First things first, you log in here at harpsen.com. This is your dashboard. Here in this area is, we really wanted a space that everything was right in front of you the moment that you logged in. So you don't have to come off of the screen at all. You don't have to come out of the system at all. You really have everything that's right in front of you, and you're able to get your work done right here in this system. If you look over here, we have active projects. We have your calendar here. You scroll down, you have your recent activity. You have your task bars. You have your follow-up portion. Your vendors are here. Your templates, your social media, shared documents, and bookkeeping, all right here at your fingertips the moment that you log in. You'll see that there's a lot of ways to filter and to be able to really truly navigate this piece in order to have it be as seamless as possible. So I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to start clicking to show you ways that we can do things, and if I think that there's something exciting to mention, I'll do that as I go through. Here we just clicked on one of your projects, which is Bob and Jill's wedding. This is all a demo, so please just bear with us as we see that this is something that we have placed in ourselves and not in real time. So you'll see here, right when you click on the project, everything comes up here. You can add your clients at the top. You can click on the clients that you've already added to edit anything, and all of that piece is right here. You can update your cover photo with any photos that are in your bank and your gallery. You can edit to go over to this spot here and start your blog portion, which is really interesting. We'll get there. You can also go over here. So what happens is, you get an inquiry and you're starting to create their project and you're like, oh, wait a minute, where is that wedding? And you can always click on this inquiry details portion right here, and the screen will pop up for you. We also have in this specific space, we have activities and tasks tab. So everything's right here in front of you at a click of a button in this specific project. So your activities and tasks, you can send an email right from here. You can send notes right from here. You can create notes. So what I find is I'm on the phone with a client, and I'm thinking about things, and I want to make sure that those notes are getting into their project. So at any time I can click on this notes, add a note. Also, I can always go over to this portion here anytime I'm on the phone and add notes in. And it's really helpful in order to be able to keep all of those notes when you're talking with a client on the phone right in their project, and you can always go back to those. I do see here more recent activity. So any emails, any proposals, anything signed, anything deleted, anything that's happening within this specific project will be all right here in your recent activity. And any tasks that you assign to any of your clients or things like that will be right here. So your task would be pay florist, anything in the description, whatever the due date may be, and then you assign that to anyone who's a part of the project. Priority, add. That will show up in your task list here, and it will automatically email your client to make sure that they know that task needs to be done. And you can always go over here and decide and filter, if they've completed it, if it's in progress, if it's on hold. It's really a big task management tool for that specific client, which is wonderful. If you come up here to your conversation tab, you can see in here if there were any emails that you send back and forth, it will be in your conversation tab, so you can always access anything, including your team members and everybody that's a part of the project. So any vendors, any clients, any team members, anyone who emails to the system, all of your conversations are here. It will pull that code if you're also doing it through Gmail or something of the sort to make sure that those are all recorded here in this space. All of your templates are here, so any proposals, brochures, documents, anything along those lines will be here. So you can add a proposal, you can take a look at a sample here, you can go down, it'll add all of your items here. In these templates and specifically in the proposals, you can always, edit something. You can always, go back to this and create it a little bit custom to that specific client. Your contract will be right here as well. This is very much a WordPress feature so that you can copy and paste and put anything that's from any other system, or if you're using Word doc, or if you're just sending contracts that are in PDF form, you can copy and paste those right into this space, but we also give you a default template as well. Anything that's in yellow, it'll pull your clients and any information that you've placed into the specific project. It'll pull all of that right into here. So you don't have to worry about filling any of this in. When you send it over to your client, it'll automatically put all of that in there for you, which is great. You can set up your payment plans here, payment schedule. You can, again, add any items here, names, descriptions, things along those lines, into create a proposal. You go to save and send. What happens is you have everyone who's a part of the project here, whomever you want to send that to. You can also choose a template, proposal email. It'll pull this right up for you, so it's easy, click of a button, and again, the company name, which is the subscriber, automatically goes into something like this. You can preview your email. What happens is this comes up and it says, this is their proposal, this is their payment schedule, here's their contract, and then you press continue. And that is the email that you'll be sending. You can send that along. And you'll see that that comes up in this templates portion here, which means your status of that proposal has been sent. So any activity in the templates area comes right from here. What's another great feature of Harpsen is files. Files were really important because they're in all of our worlds, we need organization, right? So as we're doing these weddings and events and things, and we've got say you're a DJ or a florist or something of the sort, and a client sends you a PDF or a PowerPoint or an inspiration board or a list of songs that they do not want played or anything of the sort, you can simply drag and drop those items right here into this Files tab. And you can also organize it very well. So you can create different folders, different subfolders, and then open that up, and there's items right in here. You can open those pieces up and they come right up and they're all here for you. Another great tool with this is the drag and drop. So if you have something on your desktop, you can just pull it right over and it would go right into your space, and then you can always file these very differently so that you're organized in your own fashion, which is super helpful. You can also, which are great tools, you can share with a vendor right from here. So if you wanted to share a specific file with a vendor, click on Share with Vendor, select the vendor that you'd like to send it to, share it, and then in their vendor portal, they will see that they've received in the activity of this specific project, they will see that they have a sheet that's shared. So timelines, function sheets, production plans, do not playlists, anything of the sort that you want to share with specific people can be shared right through the system, which is wonderful. Your vendors tab is really exciting. If you are a planner or even just, you want to know if you're a rental company or a DJ and you need to know who the lighting person is or anything of the sort, all the vendors that are confirmed or compared in this specific project will be here. So you can add a new vendor. We have different vendors that are in the system. Once you add a vendor to the system, they'll always be there and you could just search for them easily and they'll pop up. But say we wanted to add this vendor here to the team, we would add that vendor and they would pop up. Now it's up to the vendor to create their own profile once they receive that vendor portal link. They can put their logo here, they can put anything that they'd like here, their photos, everything of the sort. And it's a really great way to be able to understand every time you go to a project, who is their DJ, who is their florist, who is their lighting person. It's all right here in front of you. And what's wonderful too is you can actually export this into a file, a PDF or a CSV. So if you're heading out for the weekend and you're going to a wedding or an event and you just want a list of all the vendors that are involved and all of their contact information, you simply have to just click on something here and export for you and just print it from there. What's great for planning purposes is, as if you're a planner, is this vendor comparison portion of the system. It's really, really exciting to see that we have a space to be able to compare vendors. What's the toughest part, I feel, is for our job at our company is that we get all these emails in and we have to then file them and put proposals in places and things of the sort. But this tool is super, super easy to be able to keep that all in one place. And what's the best part about it is the client will log in and they'll see this vendor comparison too. So say you're talking to 4 different photographers. You can put a photographer here, you can click their name, Molly Photography, whatever you think that might be best, Molly Smith. Her email is mollysmith@photography.com. Now, of course, this is all dummy work, so I'm just kind of putting things in here but maybe she came in at about 10,000 for a photographer. You've received the email from them, or you've received the quote from them, or you've sent an email and you're not really sure what the status is, which this is really super helpful. Say we received a quote, they've commented about $10,000, still waiting on items for photo booth. Maybe there's something that you're waiting on from them. Add that there. That shows up in comparison. You want to add another photographer, you do the same thing in here, and then you can find that they're compared. At any time, you can add attachments. So if you just go to this here, you can actually add their proposal right to this attachment so that your clients can take a look at that and see that at any time. You want to add another vendor quote, such as someone for, let's say, music. So you go here and you go to music, you add the best band, Bobby Smith. He's Bobby Smith at gmail.com. Let's not do that actually, because just in case. We add this here. Let's do your mail. The address is 1456, Ferry Road. The music for these guys are a $25,000 band. We've received their quote, not really waiting anything, no need for comments, adding them here. Again, they come up in this and you can add attachment. This filter is really lovely and file's really lovely. All of your music will be in one area. All your photographers will be in one area. All of it will be right here. The moment that you actually say, okay, you know what? This is the quote that they went with. They signed the contract. Everything's here. I need to make them a confirmed vendor. You click over here. Click on confirm the vendor. Are you sure you want to move this vendor? Yep. You move that. It comes right up to your confirmed vendor list. So that way your client, as well as you and all of your team members or your company or anyone a part of the project, can see the vendors that you've confirmed, and then all of your files and attachments go back to your files portion here, and you can actually file them in any way and organize them in any way that you'd like. So back to the vendors portal, we have this is super exciting. Again, you can export anything here. You can apply filters if there's a large list of vendors, things like that. What's really great, and I'm going to flip over to this portion here, is that because it connects with the vendors so much, is this budget tab. If you are a planner, wedding planner of the sort, you can go into here and start a budget, a vendor payment plan and or a budget. So right now we're on the budget portion. So when we created this project, we knew that their budget was about $600,000. So now I'm going to add, okay, well look, we've Molly Smith we've contracted, and that's actually their photographer now. They're $10,000. She's $10,000. A $1,500 deposit has been paid. Deposit paid. And we add that here. This can also be a projection budget as well. So we know that the deposit has been paid. This is a confirmed vendor. And, the total of this comes up here. We can go and add someone. All right, you know what? We haven't really had anyone exactly, but for music, we really don't want, we want to put, so we're going to put band. We don't want to go over $30,000 for a band, so no on that, and we haven't selected yet. Estimated for projection. Add that here. So then you get a better idea, and this always totals this up for you. And if you start to go over what your projected your goal budget is, it will come in red and tell you that you're going over this budget. So you can put a projected budget in here as well as a confirmed budget or whatever it is that you'd like to do, but there's that task. You then switch over to vendor payment plan, which is really wonderful. So anytime you get a contract back from a photographer or something of the sort, you can assign payments to your clients, which as a planner, it's super helpful to have. So say we need to assign Ryan, Molly Smith's payments, and let's see, we do vendor name is the amount of 10. Let's say we want to do, we paid her $1,500. But let's reflect that in here. The due date was today. It's paid. Any notes? This is the deposit. Add that there. So they know that they have on 10/21/2022, they paid Molly Smith $1,500, $15,000, excuse me, is paid deposit. It's all set. It's totaled $15,000. You want to add another one. So you want to add Molly again, assigned to Ryan, and say, this keeps coming up, you've gone over your budget from above to $20,000, is because we budgeted in our budget tab, we put $10,000 for her, and I accidentally put $15,000 instead of $1,500 but I'm just trying to show you, so it's fine. But let's say here, but what's great is to show you too is these alerts come up so that if you do make a mistake in anything, the system will tell you. So the next payment needs to be another, say, $1,500, and that one's due on January 13th. It's unpaid, and this is the second payment for photographer. Add that here, and that will come up, and it will automatically task Ryan Pellerin and send him an email and say you need to pay your photographer pay Molly Smith $1,500 on January 13th, 2023, and then they can always find that in here as well. And then as you see here, what has happened is the amount for Molly and then the additional amount has created a total over this side, which is really super helpful. So anyway, that's just a little bit of an idea as to how you can go back to budget, and you'll see in here where you're at, and they talk to each other, which is wonderful. Another item in here is, I'm going to go back to team members, is you can always add team members. So if you are the lead planner and you have an assistant or you have an administrative person in the office or anyone of the sort, you can add team members right here, which is wonderful. So you add a team member, you can add a new, choose existing, whatever you'd like. And you can also give them lots of permissions as well, which we'll get to momentarily, but let's move on. We have payments. These payments are for your specific contract with the client. So this is not the payments for all of your vendors, but your specifics. What's great about this system here is that you can, this person, Billy, who's the wedding of Billy and Jill, is going to get, alerts that this is owed to you as a company, as a subscriber. What's wonderful and a great perk about this system is that you can actually be on the phone with someone. A lot of our industry, parents are paying for weddings. Events are happening from a corporate, but they, whomever's calling to pay the amount doesn't have access to this system or something. And some people aren't necessarily tech savvy, so you can actually process the payment for your client right here, which is really great. So you go to process payment for client. We do have a partnership with Stripe, and so everything goes through the third party, so that none of that information is stored in our system, which is for privacy purposes and things like that. You can go right on the phone, enter the amount, enter the card number, ask if they want to auto pay for future, press pay now, and it'll automatically pay for that space, and it'll come up here and it'll mark as paid and say that you've processed it yourself and they didn't. So it keeps a receipt and a log of all of that as well, which is really great. So this is specifically through you and your client. On workflow, you can go through here. You can add a workflow. If you have a template of a workflow, that's great. You can apply that to the process, and we'll show you up in this tool here how to create something like this. But it's right in the project, which is nice. You can go right to it, right from the project. You can edit. You can do anything right in here. Again, this is the budget tab, which we've already gone through, and then this is just the details of your project that you can always update right through here. So if the budget has changed and you want to, they say, you know what, we've actually like to put $20,000 more towards the budget. Anything's here. Anything about the wedding is here. Priority, location, all of that is here, and the status of the project is here, which will change automatically through the system. Really, our goal through this system is to allow for the system to do a lot of that extra work for you so that you don't have to. So there's a lot of reminders coming from the system, a lot of details, a lot of putting it into different stages, which you can do manually, but the system will do all of that for you as well. So let's get back to the dashboard and we can go into a lot of the other pieces. Back to the dashboard again, this is all projects. This is kind of like a news feed. It's everything that's right here in front of you at just a click of a button. If you want to do some kind of fun stuff like goals with your team and things like that, that'll come up here and it'll assign tasks to different team members depending on your goals, which is great. From this main space here, let's go into a couple pieces. So let's go into our tools. Right here is all of those items that I was mentioning on the specific project. So your templates are in here. You can create different templates: proposals, contracts, menus, emails, brochures, questionnaires, timelines, packages, invoices, all of that right here. And then you can always choose those templates from those drop-down menus in your specific projects. You can go to workflow, that's here. You can create different workflows, so you can assign those to the project as well. Your reports are in here as well, for any bookkeeping and things like that are all here in your system, and is really helpful for any accounting purposes. Any tasks for productivity, so any tasks that you have for someone or someone has for you or anything of the sort, they just all come up. So you're just able to really kind of revise the task, which you can do right from the task manager, right in the specific projects, but we have it here as well. In your essentials piece here, here's all your vendors. So what happens is when you put a vendor into the system, you need to also put a zip code and or address in order for us to be able to filter. So demographically, wherever you are, and geographically, wherever you are, this will pop up with the vendors that are closest to you, and it's very helpful to be able to have to have your pool of vendors that you always go to, all of their contact information, everything right here at your fingertips. Your clients are in here as well, so you start to build clientele. So say for instance, you do have a corporate client and that's frequent and has lots of projects. You can grab their information right from this client pool of people. All of your inquiries are in here. And then what's really great about this too is, if you are a planner, DJ, photographer, anything of the sort, as you go through the process and things start to happen, you start to find memories with your client, and it's hard to remember those memories after the wedding is done. I mean, unfortunately at this stage and how popular weddings and events and all this whole industry is, we start to forget about what happens throughout the year. And so this blog feature here is really wonderful, because you're able to, in your specific projects, you're able to start your blog, write notes, and then you can always go back to it. And what happens is you submit that blog to harpsen.com. It awaits approval, it gets approved, and then it goes on our community center, our community page, which allows for folks to, the right SEOs and things like that are finding you as a business owner, and also your blogs about your clients and the events that you've done. So that's a community as well. That's a part of the system. Any questions that you have are all here. So any questions that you might have about making projects, adding folders, removing team members, deleting clients, tools, editing workflows, templates, it's all here for you, so that it's a click of a button and you get a question answered right away. You can always ask our support team as well, but this is something that we find as a quick answer, and you can always go into the facts portion here. Back to the dashboard. What's really great is that we also have a feature, which is a chat feature, which is down here in your right corner. If you go here, anyone that's a part of the projects or a part of your team or anyone that you've added as a contact is right here. So if your client is online, you'll see the green button here. If they're not online but you still want to send them something, you can click on them, send them a message, and it will automatically email them because they're not online. And so what starts to happen is you start to really kind of enjoy this space, and you're in this system, you're doing emails from the system, you're chatting with folks from the system, you're doing all of your accounting from the system, your proposals, everything is right here at your fingertips, your budgets, your comparisons, your attachments, your files, everything is right here in the system. It's really such a great way. Our goal was so that you open up this page and you don't really need to navigate anywhere else, and you can really plan a wedding or an event from start to finish. And we're really proud of that, as well as it being super affordable for everyone. And also too, in your settings here, I just want to be sure that we talk about a little bit about your specific subscription. Right up here, you can go to your settings. Your settings are here. So anything that you have, your profile, you can always change if your address changed or anything. In your contracts, your proposals, it's going to pull all of this information that's in your profile. The reason for that is that you don't have to add it in every single time, but if anything does change, you just make sure that you come into this profile and change it, and it'll reflect all of your contracts, proposals, and templates. You can look here at what your current plan is for the month, for the specifically for the system. You can do your plan history, your transaction history. You can do your inquiry settings. So this is where you would put your inquiry form into your own website. So you'd copy the code here, copy that code, paste it into your website, and then it will talk right to the system. So anytime anyone inquires, it automatically creates a project for them, and then you obviously go in and start to create that project in more depth, but it will create an inquiry for you in that project. You'll approve it, you'll disapprove it, and you can email right from there, and it's really a lovely way to do things. Your goals are here, so if you have goals for the company. Your gallery is here for all of your photos and everything that you want to attach to your templates or send anyone. They're all here. File gallery is here, all files. So if you have existing files in a library that you keep having to place, whether it be brochures or pricing sheets or whatever it is, you can keep that right in here. Your signature, so any signature that you have, that would be so that you can just click of a button, add that signature to a contract, and it's all right there. Help and support is right here. So if you'd like to, you can submit a ticket, and we get right back to you if there's any issues. Settings are in here, so your social media, your follow up, when to move projects to follow up with. So if someone inquired and you sent a proposal and you want to follow up with them, you decide in your system here what you'd like to do. Social media, what your Instagram is, your Facebook, all of that, you add it right in here so that it connects automatically with the system, which is super helpful. Default payment gateway settings, Stripe, you've successfully set your Stripe account, things like that you'll find right in the settings portion. Roles and permissions is really important. So all of your team members that you add to be a part of this, you can actually give them certain permissions. So if you have an administrative assistant that's in the office a couple times a week, she's just really making sure that projects are followed up with, or she or he is making sure that items are getting done, and emails are being done. This is where you'll do those permissions. You can make someone a manager, you can make them a member, you can really decide what they'll be a part of specifically, which is really great, because if you have, maybe you don't really want them to be in the bookkeeping portion of things. You don't really want to know the pricing of things. You can decide what they have access to all right here, which is really super helpful. Change your password, your notification reminders, all of that right here at your fingertips again, all coming from this portion in your settings tab in there. You can also find your team members right in this tab. So any of your team members that are part of your company are here, and you can edit and lock. You can lock them, which means say someone is no longer with you. You keep them in the system so that you remember their information, but you lock them out so that they're not unable to do anything. Your sign out, you can change your plan here. Support is also down here. Facts are also down here. So it's really an easy process to get to everything. So that's the subscriber system. Wanting to make sure that you kind of get a brief idea and not holding you too much and too long of a video here. But this is really the subscriber system. Again, you can always get back to your dashboard. You really make this unique to your company and yourself. Anything that your meetings or weddings or events all come right up in this calendar view. Again, this is all at your fingertips. Our goal here is that everything is right in front of you. You don't have to navigate off of the system too much at all. And you can really get to use the system in a lot of what it has to offer. Thank you so much for taking the time to go through this demo with us. As you can see, it's something that we found was not available to us with all the different softwares out there, and therefore myself, I'm a wedding planner and event planner owning a company with a lot of team members, and my husband, a software engineer, and together we decided that we needed a system like this, and that's where Harpsen was born. We hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please let us know. And thank you so much for taking the time.